Well, all right. How about Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Listen, this was not a perfect offensive day. We will talk about the negatives and the things that could have even gone worse for Tampa Bay. They did do some really nice things. They got off to a red-hot start. Things cooled off, and then they somehow pulled victory from the jaws of defeat at the end. Let's just jump into all of it. Let's start off with this play. What's going to happen here is this is going to be a zone coverage concept that the Houston Texans are in. And so much of Tampa Bay, when you're playing against them, is where is number 13? Where is Mike Evans, right? Evans is running a route that's going to essentially get the safety who is on that side of the field to move further in. So why does that matter? Well, Emeka Egbuka's route is running a route that's going to go from the offense's right to the offense's left. And the idea is with the safety paying more attention to Mike Evans, since that's the receiver on his side of the field, potentially there could be a window in that area. Mayfield takes the snap. The safety does look towards Evans, but you see right here, it's Azeez Al-Shaair who is reading this play. He's, again, the middle linebacker who is going to essentially just hang with Emeka Egbuka. Mayfield doesn't pick this up and really should have thrown an interception there. I mean, Al-Shaair did the difficult part. He did everything except for catch the football, right? Really tough play to get in position, and just couldn't quite hang on for the football. Tough catch for a linebacker to make, but still, definitely a break early on for Baker Mayfield, and he would make them pay. This was the end of that drive, so they got to the 20-yard line. This is just a really good job of going through your progressions. So it's zone coverage. You have a couple more underneath routes that you typically want to look towards right here. But the way this works is that if none of those routes are open, what usually that means is it's because Houston has moved far in to cover both of those two routes, meaning that route, Ryan Miller's route, is the one that could potentially get open if nothing is open underneath. Mayfield takes a snap, he looks in that direction, and you see Houston has this covered, but what that means is that their defensive players have moved in to cover both of those two routes. Mayfield now knows he has a one-on-one matchup further down the field. You're going to see him locate it, find it, and he's going to score a touchdown on this play. That's really just good awareness more than anything by Mayfield to, be able to make that play work. It's really difficult in the NFL to get through your progressions. You only have so much time, and you have to know that you're not going to, get hit as you're trying to throw and lose the football or something like that. But really good awareness, good pocket presence to make sure that he had time to get through his progressions and then make the play. Also, this play was a very fun one. So, Tampa Bay, they lost their offensive coordinator in the offseason, Liam Cohen, who was really good for them last year. And, they have Grizzard, who is the new offensive coordinator. But the question is, how good is that? How good are they going to be with that? Well, let's look at a screen pass, and really a creative screen pass here. You have three eligible receivers lined up to the offense's right. Two of them will be running just routes over the middle. They're not even going to be blocking on this play. Emeka Egbuka's the third receiver. He's just wants to get the ball in his hands. Tampa Bay will send their their right guard and right tackle. This is Charlie Heck, because he's a backup right tackle since Tampa Bay is without both of their starting tackles in this moment. Watch when this play begins. Look at how fooled Houston is. I mean, everyone has been cleared out. Plenty of opportunities, plenty of space right here on a 3rd down and 6 to at least get the first down, but probably pick up the touchdown. We're then going to see some weird play by both of these offensive linemen. So first, let's look at the right tackle, Charlie Heck. Watches the defender kind of jukes him out. Honestly, he trips that defender. That should have been a flag. Tampa Bay absolutely gets away with one. Cody Mock here, he was kind of turning around watching the play instead of getting forward. I mean, it's tough, right? Because you have to make sure that the pass has been thrown so you don't get a penalty for going too far. But as you see, he was slow in getting there, and so, Emeka Egbuka says, okay, I'll just run forward and pick up the first down that way. You see C.J. Gardner-Johnson making his presence felt with a hit there as Emeka Egbuka is going over the goal line. He doesn't care. He's happy to get the score. Fun X's and O's here. Listen, Liam Cohen's a great offensive coordinator. Doesn't mean Grizzard can't be as well. Now, we did see some of those, the fact that they have two backup tackles in this game that did kind of show its ugly head in this one. So you have here, it's Daniel Hunter going up against Graham Barton, who played tackle in college, but he was, sort of considered to be a pretty obviously a center prospect. Very weird how that works out, but he played all right at center last year. He's had to play left tackle to start the year due to them missing Tristan Wirfs, going up one-on-one against Danielle Hunter. That's already not fair, but especially watch this move. I mean, look at this. This is like a crossover in basketball. He just gets straight through. Poor Baker Mayfield can't do anything on that play. What a job by Danielle Hunter, right? I mean, what can you really say other than that? But now let's go over here. So, pressure getting to Mayfield, and really it affects them in several different ways, right? Because also they feel like they have to run the ball a lot more than maybe they would like to, because they want to try and tire out the pass rushers and also keep their backup tackles as fresh as possible. There's a lot of quick passes. So you have these 3rd down and 8 situations, obvious passing situation. What is Houston going to do to try and take advantage of Tampa Bay's backup tackles? Well, they're going to blitz. And why is that a good move? Shouldn't you just try to get pressure before? Why are you setting an extra player? Well, if you try to get pressure before, then you can help out at least one of the tackles, if not both of them, if you want to, right? But now that they're going to blitz, you have, you can't use extra guys to help out your tackles because you have to kind of one-on-one block everybody. But of course, if you're going to do this, that means you still have to be able to cover in case Tampa Bay gets the ball out of their hands quickly, and that's going to be difficult, right? Tampa Bay has these receivers. That's the route Mike Evans is running right past the 1st down marker. That's difficult, but it's a lot easier when you have Derek Stingley in coverage. Watch as Baker Mayfield's going to look in that direction, fires, and it's just this beautiful defense. I mean, at no point was that really even a threat of working for Tampa Bay. And again, it's set up by just understanding the situation and going with the right play call there for Houston. And Tampa Bay has the right counter, but it still isn't able to work because it's a great play by Stingley. That was certainly not the only Derek Stingley, Mike Evans battle here. We saw a little bit later on this possession. You have Mike Evans going up against Derek Stingley one-on-one on this play. There's a safety on the field on that side of the field, but he's not really going to get involved here. So one-on-one matchup. Watch as Baker Mayfield takes the snap, has to get rid of the ball quickly, but he does, and look at that. Nice throw and nice catch by Mike Evans that are finally able to get him involved, make that play work. So that helped them set up a drive where they got into field goal range. They wanted a touchdown to go up 2 scores. Here on a 3rd down and 9, they go for that touchdown and just can't quite make that play work. Really, Stingley was not going to let that happen. So again, both star players for Houston and Tampa Bay making their impact felt on these key plays late in the 3rd. And then this weird play where Baker Mayfield ran for a third down and 10 conversion earlier in this drive. You now have another situation where, hey, you get a 1st down here. Looks like he's going to, if you can just get past this diving defender, and he just drops the football. I mean, he was kind of changing hands as he was getting contacted, and I guess just that little bit of contact while he was changing hands of which one he wanted on the ball, the back of his hand knocked it loose. Just a tough mistake. Fortunately, Tampa Bay, they fell back on it, or it could have been a real disaster, but still not a great play there. So now let's go over here. I mean, listen, somehow the Buccaneers are such a weird team. If the game ended with 58 minutes, they're 0-2. In both games, they needed Baker Mayfield to drive down the field. Here, though, it's 4th and 10. Mayfield made a great play, to get Ibuka the ball, just didn't quite work out. Here, you see he takes the snap. Nothing looks open. There's about to be, there's a blitzing defensive back about to run in, and I'm watching this. I'm like, this is over. Like he's not getting out of this. This is going to be the sack. The Texans are going to take over. They're going to run out the clock, and they're going to win the football game. Or maybe there's another stop, but then you're down 8, and that's just so much more difficult. It feels over here. But watch Baker Mayfield gets around this. Also, kind of clever. He makes it seem as though he's running towards the sideline, and then he's going to. This isn't like the try and It's not like when you're right next to the sideline and you're going to run out of bounds. He's far enough away that there's none of that shenanigans going on. But he's just trying to make it seem as though that's where he's going to stop the clock. Instead, he decides to go back over the middle. Didn't quite work out the way I think he had envisioned. But again, it just goes to show the effort that he's putting in these spots, picking up a crucial 1st down. And the Buccaneers would take advantage. They couldn't really push the ball down the field, so they took what they could. Later, you saw Bucky Irving with a really nice couple of moves and even broke a tackle. That was the play of the drive, just as much as the run. The Baker Mayfield's run was, but that was still nice. That nice throw to Evans getting involved, and then they saved their timeout so they could run the ball. They win the football game. And listen, It was ugly. There were some issues, but again, similar to week 1, you can critique certain aspects of Baker Mayfield's game, and it's totally fair to do so. But in the final 2 minutes, I mean, I used to say there's only a couple guys you'd want more. Is there anyone you would want more than Baker Mayfield? Maybe people you would want as much, but it feels like in those final stretches, he's as good as anybody, and he proved it once again. What a win, what a performance from Baker Mayfield.